Have you ever been sitting at home in awkward silence wondering what would happen if Joe Pesci and that other guy broke into your house? Would you defend yourself? Would you give up? What would you do? Let's say you're going to defend yourself, and for some reason you're a big fan of Halo. What weapon would you use?
You know, as somebody who recently became an apartment owner over the last year, this is a question that I'm asking myself constantly.
Having to repair the house after a home invasion is of the utmost importance to any up-and-coming homeowner. Homeowners every year are faced with this challenge of deciding which Halo weapon to use in their home arsenal. And we're here to help you. So today we're going to take a look at the weapons in Halo Infinite, and we're going to rank them by how useful they would be in your home defending against a home invader. Unfortunately, marbles and sticks and string contraptions are not on the menu in Halo Infinite.
No paint cans.
But they would be top tier if they were allowed. And so I'm Alex.
I'm Santo.
I'm Matt.
And we're the Angry Sun Zone, and let's get serious. Okay, so first up, we got the battle rifle.
Assault rifle?
First up, we got the assault rifle. I don't know. I'm jumping the gun because the battle rifle is just such a good weapon in Halo Infinite and every other Halo game. But the assault rifle, the standard classic Halo weapon, it's got a lot of bullets. Those bullets go everywhere, and it's strong. It's a strong weapon, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of collateral damage here. Maybe not as much as some of the other weapons on this list, though.
This is one that I think it depends on how big your house is. If your house is like a lot smaller, I think you're going to do a lot better with the assault rifle. But if you're shooting down a hallway, like you're probably going to hit a picture frame.
Yeah, it comes down to how good of a shot you are yourself, but you could end up with a lot of holes in the wall you're going to have to patch afterwards.
You're going to need to use a lot of spackle.
Yeah. But you know, you won't have to repair entire walls though. You know, just holes.
No.
Lots of holes, but just holes, tiny ones. Bullet-sized holes. So maybe B tier?
Yeah, I'm liking B.
Yeah, middle of the road.
Yeah, middle of the road. You know, it's a solid defensive weapon in your home, but it's maybe not the most ideal weapon to protect your home from you. So next up, we've got the battle rifle. And I don't know about you, but I think the battle rifle is a better weapon for home defense. You know, the burst mode, yeah, I think it helps a lot in reducing the collateral damage to your house, but it's not gonna make you worse off too much.
See, I think there's a definite downside to the burst mode though, which is you pull that trigger, you gotta commit 3 shots in situations where maybe you don't need that many.
Yeah.
So you could end up putting holes in your wall that you don't intend. But it's a more precision weapon. It's easier to incapacitate your assailant, whereas many of the weapons that we'll be talking about today are going to fully incapacitate them in ways that they are not getting back up from.
And they are not expecting.
Yeah. At least with the battle rifle, you can kneecap them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. That'd be a lot tougher with the assault rifle.
So I think this has to go above the assault rifle. I think it needs to go like a full tier above.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Not S tier, but
not S tier.
A tier is good.
Still not perfect. Not the best home defense weapon, but still, it's good. That's good. All right. Now we got the Bulldog shotgun. Now the Bulldog is it's okay in the game, but I think it does a lot better in home defense than it does actually as a weapon in Halo Infinite.
It is also full auto, I might note.
It doesn't have to be, though. Depends if you hold down the button. I don't know how that works with a real gun.
Shotguns are, some of the most probably widely used and owned weapons among, hunters and real life, not in Halo. Hunters have their own gun, which we're not ranking here. So I think that a lot more people are going to know how to use a shotgun. too.
Yeah, I think the shotgun's probably one of the stronger weapons for someone with minimal training.
A shotgun also just works well as a visual deterrent. You break into someone's house and you see the owner standing there with a shotgun. That's a pretty good visual deterrent.
Intimidation factor is pretty high on the shotgun. I'll give it that.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, in fairness, most burglars are going to run away. Intimidation factor is a real factor in this list, I think. So I kind of want to put it in A tier.
I like that.
Yeah, A tier sounds good.
Above? Better than the battle rifle?
I think better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The intimidation is strong on that one.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? How many times have you seen it in a movie where someone has a shotgun to defend their home versus a fully automatic or a burst fire precision rifle?
Yeah, you don't see a lot of home defense with P90s.
No. As much as I would like to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just don't.
All right. Next we got one of the most interesting weapons from Halo Infinite, the Cinder Shot. Now, the Cinder Shot is a lobbed energy grenade that bounces off walls.
So that can be useful, if you hear somebody breaking a window, you don't even have to show your face to them if you can ricochet off the wall at just the right angle.
Yeah, I mean, if you know your house well, you can place shots to completely obliterate the home invader without them even seeing you. That's very strong, but you will obliterate the walls too.
Yeah, but you could just stay upstairs and just shoot it down. If you know where they are and you've got a good angle, you could just shoot it down the stairs and bounce it towards them. You don't even have to go downstairs, just...
Yeah, and let me tell you, your insurance company is going to be so happy when you repelled the home invader at the cost of the first floor collapsing.
Yeah. So Cinder Shot, it's got collateral damage, but I think the defensive applications of the Cinder Shot, keep it from being too low on this list.
All right, so maybe a C tier. C tier home defense weapon?
Yeah.
Or,
I think B tier.
You think B tier?
Low B.
Yeah, low B.
Low B. Low B. Let's give it a low B. Low B for lob.
There we go.
Okay, all right. Now next up we got the Commando. And
I hate the Commando in Halo Infinite.
But how is it for defending your home?
So disappointing. It's a shitty LMG. LMGs feel like the wrong weapon for defending your home.
It's an LMG without the bullet count to match.
Yeah, without a high magazine size or high enough damage per bullet.
And without a way to mount it onto a chest-high wall for added stability.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, it's an automatic weapon, so I mean, it does a lot of damage potentially to your invader, but it's also kind of... It's got a lot of spread, and again, you have the same problem with the assault rifle where there's a lot of collateral damage to your house from all the bullets.
I think it would actually have less collateral damage just because it is slower firing. It'll probably be a little easier to control than the assault rifle.
Yeah. But higher caliber bullets means if you do miss,
that's going to be a bigger hole you got to patch.
It feels very similar to the assault rifle or to the battle battle assault. Yeah.
To the basalt rifle.
Battle assault sounds like a generic mech game.
Yeah.
It really does. All right. So maybe
middling B.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Next we've got the Disruptor, which is going to be great for if you're being invaded by somebody with an energy shield, but kind of underwhelming otherwise.
Yeah, extremely powerful if you are being invaded.
I mean, it has the added effect of not only injuring them with a bullet, but also tasing them at the same time.
Yeah, and it's small form factor as well.
Yeah, I think the small form factor and, the fact that it is essentially a pistol, I think that puts it... I think that's a strong case as a solid home defense weapon. And, the thing about the tasing functionality, if you think about it, is that if you can shoot someone non-lethally, like in the leg or in the kneecap or whatever have you, and then it would also make them drop to the floor. That seems useful.
Yeah.
You know, something we haven't considered here is like, are the police going to look kindly on you turning your would-be robber or assailant into Gibbs? Maybe not.
Castle law is a pretty strong law, but I don't know how it would work with some of these weapons on this list. So I think the disruptor is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not the flashiest weapon, but that works to its advantage in many ways.
Yeah. I'm thinking somewhere in A tier.
I think it might actually...
Maybe even S. I don't know. This might be our first S tier weapon, actually. Yeah.
I say we do it. I say S tier.
S tier.
Yeah.
You know, it's a compact. It's a compact, fully automatic handgun that you can still fire one bullet at a time with built-in taser functionality for non-lethal use.
And handguns are pretty much the standard for home defense.
Yeah. And I don't think that the shock from this is... I'm assuming it's not powerful enough that if you hit a wall with it, you're going to short all the wires that might be embedded in it.
God, I hope not.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Heat Wave. Now, the Heat Wave is an interesting weapon because it shoots, I don't know, bouncing plasma.
Yep, bouncing plasma. You've got the option to shoot horizontally or vertically. So it's got that versatility to it.
Yeah, you know, if you're aiming down a stairwell, you can go up, you know, shoot vertically or down a hallway, you know, but if you're in a wide room, you know, you can cover the whole room.
It's definitely, with its wide range, it's definitely good for multiple home invaders.
Oh yeah, this is probably one of the stronger weapons against a group of home invaders. That's a very strong point. You know, the other thing about this is that I'm not sure that this actually causes any collateral damage.
Yeah, using it against like vehicles in Halo Infinite, it doesn't appear to do anything.
I mean, you might have some scorch marks.
Yeah. But, you know, coat of paint. Replace some drywall. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, this plasma bounces off the wall in Bazaar, and some of that level, I swear, is made of wood, so...
Mm-hmm. So I like the Heat Wave a fair amount.
I think the Heat Wave is a really strong... Also, you know, bonus, it doesn't leave evidence.
That's true.
It does disintegrate.
Like the body disintegrates. That's
very
no
useful.
Questions asked.
Have you ever tried to get blood out of a carpet? It's not easy.
It's easier to just vacuum up some ash.
Yes. I like it in A tier.
This has got to be at least A tier.
Yeah, A tier.
Like, it's a bit awkward to use though, and so
you got to bounce it.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the Hydra. And
I'm going to be honest, I'm still not entirely sure how this gun works.
You can lock onto your home invaders with this gun, but how big does your house need to be for that functionality to be useful?
I don't even think most mansions are big enough for it to track well. It would start tracking and just blow up a wall right beside you. I don't think that this is very useful unless you manage to catch your home invaders
off guard
coming down a mile-long country driveway.
Or if they're assaulting your house in a helicopter.
Yeah. If you are under helicopter assault, 100%, the Hydra's your gun for sure. Outside of that, I think it's
the only home invasion I've ever seen that had a helicopter assault was in Iron Man 3. And he's got better stuff than the Hydra to deal with that.
Oh, yeah.
The best use I've found for it is just aiming at the ground and letting the splash damage do its job.
Yeah, but you know, when you own the floor in your house, that's not a great strategy.
Yeah.
It's even worse if you're in an apartment situation because you only kind of own the floor in your house. So you gotta get multiple insurance involved. It's a whole pain.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the worst weapon yet.
Yeah,
I think so.
It's just a question of how bad do we think this is. Like, is it in D tier? Or is it only in C?
I think D.
I think it's in D, yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I don't see myself getting assaulted by somebody in a Banshee anytime soon, so...
Sorry, Hydra.
Alright, next, we've got the Mangler. Another sidearm kind of weapon.
This thing kicks like a mule, though.
It does. The recoil is mucho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, I find myself... I like the Mangler, but I like it more as a bayonet than an actual gun.
Having those blades on the front does give it a bit of an advantage for close range.
Yeah,
you're a little too close to shoot.
That being said, if you're trying to defend your home with a Mangler, I wonder, how much benefit are you getting over a kitchen knife?
Well, it's got 2 blades.
Oh, 2 kitchen knives.
Hey, if I want to wield 2 kitchen knives, I have to use both hands. Mangler, I can have one hand free.
That's true.
I can have 3 kitchen knives. Or if I've got 2 Manglers, I can... Oh, well, you can't dual wield in Halo Infinite, so... Obviously, if Master Chief can't do it, how could we?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no chance any normal human could wield 2 Manglers.
If you want to pull both of your shoulders out of your sockets, then sure.
Yeah, the recoil is a real big problem. That said, I think if you actually manage to hit your assailant, they'll probably go down.
Yeah,
it packs a punch. Hard to hit with. It also does it even shoot bullets or does it shoot like arrows or something? It's got so much droop.
I'm not sure.
Like it seems like it shoots tiny harpoons. Like I'm kind of thinking maybe C.
Yeah, I don't think it's quite D tier, and it's certainly not B.
It's definitely a lot better than the Hydra.
Yeah,
but
I kind of want to put it at low B. I think the bayonets are useful.
Yeah, I think the bayonet gives it something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, now we've got everyone's classic Halo favorite, the Needler.
Has definitely been my favorite gun in many a Halo. I think this is a fucking terrible weapon for home invasion.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the Needler is that it takes a while to put enough needles into your assailant to take them out, and it's kind of a close range weapon.
It does track though.
It does track.
Yeah, but if your assailant sees it coming, they can pop behind a doorway or something, and all your shots are wasted at that point, pretty much.
And even if you do get enough shots into them, they kind of then explode.
Yeah, that's not the best.
It's not the best. It's not the best for your home. It's like you saved yourself, but at what cost?
And I've yet to find an insurance policy that covers needles.
But before or after they explode?
Either. I think this is our first C tier weapon.
Yeah.
You're in the game you're shooting Spartans with a bunch of needles, and if you don't, make them explode with the needles, you're not going to do much. A regular person, though, maybe you'll be able to incapacitate them without making them explode.
They'll be in a lot of discomfort as those needles keep entering them.
For sure. All right, up next we've got the pulse rifle, pulse carbine,
pulse rifle, I believe.
Yep, something like that. They keep changing the names of these things. It's an energy weapon, so potentially, you don't have bullet holes.
You do have scorch marks,
but it does leave scorch marks, doesn't it?
And it shoots pretty large balls of plasma.
But the travel time is so slow on them.
Yeah, those might you can maybe reaction dodge those and punish.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good point.
Punch with a dragon punch.
if you've been surprised in your home and he has a weapon. And it's a gun. He might be able to shoot you before your plasma bolts actually connect.
Yeah, and it's it's kind of a bigger, bulkier weapon too. Like I'm not a big fan of this in either the game or in the home.
Yeah. The other question about this thing is like, how does it even work? Like it's alien technology. Does the average homeowner really know how to use this gun?
Yeah, like maintenance on some of these things is going to be problematic. And like, how do you store this in a way that isn't going to cause problems?
Yeah. How do you recharge it at home?
What temperature do you need to store the pulse carbine at? Does it need to be in a very cold place?
Can you even get safety locks for them?
All these questions and more lead us to think, it's had some downsides for home defense.
I think we've got our second D tier.
Looking at some of the other ones on this list, yeah, maybe. It's either C or D. It's not very high.
D or low C?
Alex?
I'm thinking C. I'm thinking low C.
Okay.
We can move it around if we change our minds.
People say that every tier maker video, and it never happens.
It never happens.
All right, well, next we have the plasma pistol.
Very interesting.
Yeah, this... I don't quite know how well this would work. I mean, you're hitting them with plasma. Yeah. It's going to burn.
But the single shot of the plasma pistol do jack shit.
Yeah, you got to get that full charge.
Yeah, but if you full charge it,
they're going to hear you coming.
And yeah, they're going to hear you, and it might blow out your walls too. I mean,
yeah,
it's a pretty large burst.
And if you miss, that's a big burn on the wall too.
Yeah. Also, we've got to think about like how do you use the gun in your home when you're concerned that someone is broken in, right? And the thing is, with the plasma pistol, you got to be ready. That means that you're going to have it charged. And then it slowly runs out of juice as you're trying to track down the home invader in your home.
And what if you get into a situation where you hear a noise, you pull your plasma pistol, start charging it, and then it happens to be like nothing? Like, you can't not fire that shot. You always have to fire it in the game, so that's clearly how it works.
Yeah, well, it's all that built-up energy. It's got to go somewhere. You can't dissipate it.
You can't just shoot it into the wild blue yonder. There's laws against that, I'm pretty sure.
I'm definitely sure that there are. Also, it would just lob and shoot someone's backyard, light it on fire or something. You don't want that.
Could be responsible for a forest fire 2 counties over.
Yeah, I think this is D tier. I think this is worse than the carbine.
Yeah. Okay.
Not quite as bad as a Hydra though.
All right, next.
At least if you actually connect with the plasma pistol,
they're going down.
Yeah.
And it tracks a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the tracking on the plasma pistol happens as soon as you see them. Whereas the Hydra, the tracking takes a while to kick in. So I think it's even more useful that way.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Ravager.
All right, I'm going to be honest. This is the worst weapon in the game.
You're going to burn your own house down trying to use this thing.
You're going to burn your house down. You're probably going to burn yourself because this is a long-ranged weapon.
I mean, it's most certainly going to deter the burglars.
You can't
at the cost of your own house, though.
You can't burgle a burning building, I guess.
I mean, you can. You just got to get out quick.
I think this is the worst. This is the absolute worst weapon yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have to agree on that one. I mean, the large bayonet on it is promising, but
the large bayonet
actually trying to fire this gun and yeah,
it's a pretty bulky gun to even be trying to use that bayonet though.
Yeah, two-hander, like
yeah.
Classic bayonets were always on rifles, right?
Yeah, listen, we'll get there, but I think there's a much more viable big bayonet on this list. But yeah, the Ravager. Oh, and the other thing is like, which mode do you use? Do you charge it up to do one massive burst, or do you do 3 bursts? It doesn't matter. You're burning your house down either way.
Yeah.
It's not good. Okay, now we've got like an interesting weapon to place on this list: the sniper rifle.
How big does your house have to be to use this for home defense?
Listen, I mean, let's be real though. No scoping's a big thing with this sniper rifle.
It is.
Yeah, like it does a big chunk of damage if you're able to hit him with it. But at the same time, it's a very bulky that the barrel sticks out quite a bit. Like I don't think you're going to be able. Like think about trying to turn around with this in a hallway. How are you going to 360 no scope somebody if you're in a narrow hallway? You're just going to clank the sniper rifle into the wall.
Yeah, I think you're more likely to get a 360 no scope by doing a backflip with this and then shooting them.
Vertical 360.
Yeah.
Of course, you could try using it the COD way and going around quick scoping with it.
I don't think quick scoping in your own home to try and defend against a burglar is going to work very well, but
ow.
I'm thinking high C.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's not going to cause a lot of collateral damage.
That's the thing.
It's some of the least collateral damage of any of these guns. But it's just not the most effective for actually dealing with the problem.
And it requires a lot of training, to aim effectively, whether you're no-scoping or if you're using the scope. So,
if your home is a lighthouse and you can see someone coming to invade your home, then it's good. It's real good.
Oh, yeah.
But for your average homeowner, no.
If you live in some kind of like pirate ship that's on land that has a crow's nest, perfect weapon. Otherwise, C tier.
Listen, if you have a section of your house that you unironically call the turret with 360-degree views, then yeah, it might be for you.
Next, we've got the sentinel beam, and I really like the sentinel beam, and I think that it's a very precise weapon. Just shooting a beam of plasma.
It's a very precise way to start fires.
Mm-hmm. And it once again has the benefit of disintegrating your target. So
you don't leave any evidence.
No evidence. Just grab a shop vac, no evidence.
It's got a pretty large clip too. You can turn it on and off just like very quickly, a lot without having to reload it. If your house has a lot of hallways, this is really good to stop home invaders.
Okay, yeah. I think the real question is just how much damage does it do to your home?
It's a narrow beam. I think you might get some trailing burns on your wall, but you can maybe try and pass that off as like a art collage or something.
An original Banksy.
Yeah. This is my internal graffiti. Please enjoy.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe possible burns, but hopefully it won't burn your house down. But has a huge pro with the disintegration.
That's a pro in my mind.
That is that is a big pro on this list. I think we've already established that. And then so just where do we place this thing? Also, I think it's probably a bit easier to use because you can see where it's aiming, since it's a beam weapon.
Yeah. You don't need tracer rounds. All the rounds are tracer rounds. I like it in B tier.
Yeah. Where do we want it in B tier?
Higher up.
I think it's higher. I think it's higher up.
Top of B tier. I like.
I like top of B tier because you know what? It's easy to use. Body cleanup is instant. Yeah. It causes a bit of collateral damage, but so does everything else in B tier.
All right. Next, we have the skewer. From a visual standpoint, this looks like a good deterrent.
Yeah.
You see someone with this, you don't know what to expect. And I mean, if they start running away and they get out the front door and then you shoot them with it, they're just skewered to your lawn. That's a real good deterrent against more burglars.
Yeah, like, you've heard of Vlad the Impaler? You can be Vlad the Impaler.
This can impale in multiple ways. You can fire it, or you can use the bayonet on the front of it.
Yeah. The thing I like about the skewer is that it's really it's versatile at every range. You know, whether you've got that lighthouse and you're trying to prevent a pirate raid, hell, you could sink the boat with this thing. Or if you're up close, you've got this large bayonet. And then in the mid-range, it's a very viable no-scope kind of weapon.
Yeah. And like, even if you're, worst case scenario, you're in your house and you gotta shoot somebody and like make him like punch him into a wall, that's a coat hanger. So like it's so the collateral damage, like if you're creative about it, it can actually be an upside.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really, this is a home renovation tool. You need to like you need to mount something to the wall, skewer.
Mm-hmm. This is the biggest nail gun you'll ever see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so actually it does double duty then in the home. Not only is it a home defense weapon, but it's also a construction and renovation tool.
Now on the downside, you only get the one shot and then you have a long reload.
Yeah, that's the only downside I really see to the skewer outside of maybe its bulkiness, but I like it quite a bit overall.
That is a pretty big downside for home defense, but just got to make sure you get good and hit the first time.
That's right. So I think this is an easy A tier.
I like it. I like it in A tier.
I like high A.
High A? I can get down with that.
Like above the shotgun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next we have the almighty sidekick, the Halo pistol.
Yeah. The pistol has always been an incredible weapon in Halo, and it's incredible for home defense too.
Now, while not quite on par with like the combat evolved pistol, it does its job.
Yeah, it's good short range, quite accurate medium range. You can even like zoom in and hit people and at the far range. Great for headshots, like low profile, not a lot of collateral damage. This is one of the best weapons you can have in a home defense scenario, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm putting it above the Disruptor. Sorry, Disruptor.
Yeah, you don't know Disruptor, you don't know how shock resistant your home invader is going to be.
Yeah.
I can tell you how bullet resistant they're going to be. Not very.
Yeah, also, where do I get Disruptor bullets? I don't know. Sidekick? I'm pretty sure I can get those at Walmart in some places.
It's true.
Yep.
All right. Now we've got the M41 Spanker, otherwise known as a rocket launcher.
Yep.
It will stop the invader.
Yes.
That is true.
But you're gonna turn your place into an open concept living.
You're gonna need some renovations afterwards.
I think the biggest concern is that you won't just kill your home invader. You will commit a murder-suicide if you try to use this gun, this rocket launcher in the home. I just don't see any scenario in which this is a remotely good idea to use, other than maybe outside. Maybe.
Like this is good for once they've left the house and they're running away. And if you still want to teach them a lesson.
Yeah, if they've got a getaway car, that's when you can use this.
I mean, even if you fire it and leave a crater in your front lawn,
that's a story.
And that's also easy to fix too. You just go down to Home Depot, you get some soil, fill the hole, lay down some seed or some sod, and you're good to go.
Yeah, maybe turn it into a pool.
Or maybe a nice fountain, some nice water fixture.
But all indoor use is strictly discouraged.
Yeah,
to put it lightly. unfortunately, the rocket launcher, as much as I love it in game, it's too much collateral damage. It's got to be in D tier.
Yep.
I mean, it's the weapon I have killed myself the most with as a Spartan super soldier. I shudder to think how long I would last having one around.
So
I think it's worse than the Hydra because of the just sheer amount of extra damage, collateral damage that's going on.
But I don't think it's as bad as the Ravager, because
just
while the damage will still be isolated with the rocket launcher, the Ravager could spread to the whole house.
yeah, and Ravager's gonna, like, even if you shoot one off and you miss and hit the wall, that's gonna trigger the fire alarm. And if you're in an apartment, all your sprinklers are gonna go off, and that's just, you're screwed at that point.
As incredible as some of these weapons are in Halo, they're just not the right tool for defending your home. Next up, we got the shock rifle. Now, the shock rifle is a bit of an interesting weapon. I actually didn't like it in Halo initially, in Halo Infinite, because I couldn't quite figure out how to use it.
You didn't understand it.
I didn't understand it, no. But I actually really like it now because it's a instant headshot weapon from full shield and full health on anything, basically. And since it's a shock weapon, I don't think that there's any collateral damage, but there's a very high skill ceiling with the shock rifle. And I think that applies even more in a home defense situation because it's really more of a medium to long range kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to use up close. And that's usually where you're going to be.
True. But it's definitely got some intimidation factor. People see lightning arc on something, and they're like, I don't want anything to deal with that.
Yeah, and if they do try to escape in a vehicle, you can shut that vehicle right down.
Yeah. As far as collateral damage goes, you got to be careful around your electronics with this thing. You could, if you just got a Xbox Series X or something like that, make sure to aim like away from it. You don't want to fry your new console.
Yeah.
You don't want to fry your Halo machine with your Halo weapon. That'll just make you depressed.
Yeah. I think it's somewhere around the battle rifle, because they're both strong. They both have low collateral damage, but they're both, maybe not always the easiest to use.
Sure.
Yeah. I'd say maybe below the battle rifle.
Yeah, I think so.
Just because of the skill ceiling on it.
It's even harder to use than the battle rifle, yeah. But it's good, And I can't remember, does it? No, it doesn't disintegrate the bodies. So
no.
It doesn't have that going for it, but you can't have it all, folks.
All right. Next, we have the Stalker Rifle. Another sniper rifle.
So the upshot of this sniper rifle is that you have more rounds. But I don't think that actually matters.
You got more rounds, but if you do end up firing a bunch of shots all at once,
it
say you're
overheats.
startled or something, it overheats, and then that's a bad look.
Yeah. Also, the scope is all red, and I don't know if that's not good at night. I don't think.
Yeah, it can't be good at night.
No, red is fantastic at night. It does not mess with your night vision.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, so this is more of a nighttime lighthouse defense weapon.
Yeah, but do you really want to be trying to snipe somebody looking through a Virtual Boy?
No, I don't. I think it's similar to the regular sniper rifle, but I think it's worse just because, again, maintenance, alien tech, like
ammo acquisition.
How do you get the ammo?
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah.
Burn your retinas.
Is it?
Yeah,
I like it there.
Okay. All right. Okay. Next we got the energy sword, and I don't know about you guys, but I love the energy sword.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think that it is an incredibly strong home defense weapon because there's no collateral damage. Right? It's just straight.
There might be a little bit of blood splatter, but I feel like this is also going to cauterize. at the same time, too. So you'll get a little bit of blood splatter, but it'll cause...
I have the feeling that if you do end up hitting a wall with it, it will start cutting through that wall pretty easily, but that just, comes down to the skill of the user.
Yeah.
But you've also got to... You got to get the drop on them. You've got to sneak up on them. You can't let them see you coming with this.
I mean, you could if then just run down at them. Like, I don't know. When I'm holding one of these things, like, I feel like I can just, like, boost forward a little bit when I get somebody in my sights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, the energy sword, I feel like it's maybe the best of these weapons if your assailant is unarmed.
Yes.
Yeah. But
if your assailant is armed, then, it takes a little bit more finesse to get out of the situation cleanly.
Yeah, and I mean, the good thing though is that you're going to be more familiar with your own house than the attacker. And that's an extremely important thing if you're trying to use a melee weapon.
Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna melee somebody, you can jump off your balcony and melee them, and you won't take fall damage. So that's very important. Get the drop on people.
Just wait at the if you have an area at the top of the stairs where you could jump down from to land at the lower floor, you just wait up there for them to walk underneath and just jump down and get them.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe A tier somewhere in A tier.
I was thinking, the bottom of S tier.
Bottom of S tier? Yeah, I can see that too. I was kind of thinking S tier as well initially.
Mm-hmm. Now we got the gravity hammer. Take everything we said about the energy sword, but make sure that whatever room you're in is going to have all of its furniture destroyed.
Not to mention probably a lot of blood splatter from pulverizing the intruder.
Yeah, and you're gonna get cracked tiles with this thing. It's only use if you have carpeted floor. Any other floor is just going to mess it up.
Yeah, the other thing about this thing is it's big. It's heavy. I don't know if... I don't know. Like, can most people even pick it up? The energy sword's light because it's an energy sword.
Yeah, it's just a handle you're holding, and then just plasma. That can't weigh that much.
This thing's a gigantic piece of machinery that like manipulates gravity and It's massive.
And he even has a blade on the back side of it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot less versatile as a home defense tool.
But it is more versatile in the sense of just being an overall home tool.
If you need to hammer that skewer nail in a little deeper.
Yeah, it's great for that. If you gotta take out a wall, if you want to do a little bit of renovation, like gravity hammer's got you set.
Oh yeah, it's a demolition tool. Best demolition tool on the list, really.
But that's not what we're looking at here.
No, yeah, come back for our home and garden edition of this tier list next week.
So, lots of collateral damage. It'll get the job done, but you do have to get close to them. It's
and this
one of the most awkward weapons to use in this list here.
It's definitely more unwieldy to sneak up on them with than the sword.
True.
So.
Yeah. I'm thinking this is quite a bit lower than the sword.
Yeah.
Maybe in C tier.
Yeah.
Mid to low C.
I like the needler more than the grab hammer for sure.
Right below the needler? Yeah, I like right below the needler.
Yeah, I think that's not bad because it's got a lot of collateral damage, but not the most collateral damage.
No.
And it's useful, but difficult to use. You might need to work out and get strong a bit before you can actually properly defend yourself using this thing.
But when you're able to do it, like I know this doesn't exactly work like this in the game, but like this is the only weapon in the game that you don't really need to worry about ammo or recharging or something like that. If you run out of like the gravity, like boosty part of it, you still have a big ass hammer with a blade on it to defend your home with.
Oh yeah.
So
What even gives it that? Do you think it runs on gasoline?
It's got to be at least jet fuel. Come on.
No, it's just got like a little capsule of sodium right next to a capsule of water. Whenever you smack with it, it just breaks and explodes.
No, it's Diet Coke and Mentos. The Diet Coke and Mentos hammer.
Then that's even more mess to clean up.
Oh, yeah. Oof. Sticky.
Anyway, so, that's the tier list. So let us know what you think. What would you use to defend your home against Joe Pesci?
We'd love to hear your opinions down in the comments.
We hope this was a very informative and useful information for you to know exactly just what to pick up to defend you and your loved ones and your Halo Infinite progress. So yeah, if you like this video, just make sure to like, comment, subscribe to let us know if there's any other tier lists you want us to make in the future, and check out the rest of the channel and our podcast.
See you next time.
Later.